Yeah, I mean, and again, it sort of just ties back into that fourth quarter again, up 7. And it's not just, especially like the last couple of games, and Southeast also highlights it, it's not just a little momentum swing, it's almost catastrophe that swings against us, that off the back of a road double and having the opportunity to win in Tassie and not close it out in the fourth, that we find ourselves up 7 in the fourth quarter against Southeast, and then they go on a 17-2 run. And so that's the mental component of now just having the ability to close out the game, knowing what it takes to win, knowing the change of pace that comes with the fourth quarter, and knowing the roles of each individual that have to contribute to getting us over the line.
There's been quite a substantial amount of those little games where you have had the chance to win. Why haven't you been able to do that? It's, you talk about practice most like perfect.
Yeah.
Why is it going so long?
Well, it's been 8. So 8 out of the 11, we've either been down one possession in the fourth or we've had a lead. And so, out of those 8, we've led at different stages throughout the game. And I think out of 5 of them, we led in the fourth. Yeah, it's a good question. And you get this with the young group, and the mental component now is this is where guys can tend to rely on their years of experience to sort of get over this, this mental hurdle. But for the most part, again, like not a lot of guys have years of experience. They're at the beginning of their careers. So the benefit of that is knowing that the learning curve that they have in front of them is going to be beneficial for them. So today's practice, the mindset, the film review, and the team meeting and the practice is we can put our finger on the area, and they're different. Sometimes they're different. Sometimes it's rotation. Sometimes it's the contribution of starters. Sometimes it's been injuries. Sometimes it's been things we haven't controlled, and sometimes it's things we can control. But the fact that we put our finger on it, identify it, and work on it, and fix on it, that's really the mindset of this group.
So on the weekend, powerhouse, Bryce Cotton's done some amazing things the last few weeks. Are you concerned heading into that contest, and what do you expect from it?
I don't remember the last time someone was averaging 50 points on return of injury. So, Bryce is a good mate. Hopefully he takes it a little bit easier. But, look, great challenge for a team that is absolutely cooking off the back of some brilliant individual performance, We'll come out with a game plan to try and counter it, but Bryce Cotton is a hell of a player, and so it's going to be a great challenge for the guys to step up to.
Is Jonah Antonio likely to get the job on Bryce?
100%. Yeah, Jonah's been our best on-ball defender. It's important that we want to keep going with what he's been capable of doing defensively. So this is going to be a great matchup for him.
Will Higgins still get a bit more chunk of minutes this week? He played really well.
Yeah, no, he did, and he played really well. And so, again, when we talk about opportunities and guys capitalising on their moment, Alex is one that rose to the occasion. So we're in a similar situation with him where he had a great game against Brisbane, backed it up with a poor performance against Southeast. Now he's had a great performance against Southeast, so he will know what he needs to do to mentally prepare for this that he didn't necessarily know a month ago. And again, this is when we talk about the growth element. But with AK out and our AK out being for a stretch, there's a large chunk of rebounds that we need to make up for. And Alex has shown he's the one that gets rebounds and he gets opportunities.
How have the bodies all pulled up from the road double obviously you had those 2 games?
Yeah, I mean, guys are pretty knackered, right? And there were 2 real physical encounters. And even off the back of the Sydney game the week before, arguably they're probably the 3 most physical games that we've had all season. And so naturally we've got some sore bodies, we've got some guys that we need to manage. But the good thing is we just got a single game this weekend at home.
Other than limiting Bryce Cotton, do you have any particular focus to get the win?
Yeah, well, I mean, this is it, right? Like, I think it probably falls more on us, and knowing that, we don't want to just start playing when we're behind, that once we sort of get our nose in front, how can we continue with our momentum to keep it there? So, look, we'll have a game plan for Perth, but the reality is we're still trying to navigate what these fourth quarters and what the dynamics works best on the court. So there'll be still a large focus on what we need to do.
There's been 11 losses on the trot. Are you concerned about your future here at the Taipans?
Well, the good thing is one of the best pieces of advice that Trev Gleeson told us was, if you ever lose your job, you want to do it on your terms. And this is the brilliant situation that I've had here in Cairns is I've got to pick the squad. I've got to pick my staff, and we can sit here and talk injuries and illnesses and everything else, but the reality is this is sort of the model that I wanted to put together. We wanted to go young, and we're not just talking this season, we're talking about just in general how you lose players in the off season to better offers and bigger markets, but that was the route we wanted to go. And so I've always had a level of comfort with my standing, and Cairns has always been fantastic, and this is the industry. We're a results-driven industry. There's no one been more comfortable about that than me. I don't lose any sleep over that. I lose sleep over trying to get Rob more involved in the offense and talking about what we need to do our defensive assignments. But this is the industry we picked, and I embrace the challenges that come with it.
I guess you spoke about the fact that you built this team, you built a lot around Taran, but you haven't really performed this season. It's been 12 losses, only 3 wins, and I said 11 losses on the track. I guess it's still concerned on the aspect that what you built isn't going to be able to achieve the outcome you want.
I feel like I just answered that, yeah?
Yeah, but I guess more so in the sense that how do you go about addressing that? You've spoken a lot about injuries and salary cap and that sort of thing, but what exactly is it that needs to change? Something has to change.
I feel like I just answered that. I feel like I just answered that. I don't know how more to talk about style of play, fourth quarter. I get what you're saying, but I've answered that. So.
Have you leaned on any ex-coaches or any former mentors to try and get out of it?
There's nothing similar really that, that we run our own race in Cairns. So while there's been a great amount of coaches that I've worked with and the advice is always good, the reality is there's nothing really that you can compare what we do to everybody else.
Pedro back on the court and back to 4 minutes. How have you kind of seen his comeback in his next couple of weeks?
Yeah, slow progression. With each time he gets in the court, he'll get better for it. Rebounds have been good, but yeah, we need a little bit more from him on both ends, and we'll keep plugging away at that.
He's a player who can do a lot of things. What's his main focus?
Say again?
He's a player who can do a lot of things, whether it be rebounding, he can do forehand, or he can score as well. What is his main focus?
For us, we need to get him to put the ball in the hole more. So that's lifting the efficiency there, getting the shots that best suit him, and then when he gets those opportunities, making sure he capitalises on it.
Cool. Final question just on the fourth quarter. Phil Jackson and Steve Kerrs of the world leaned on a lot of mindfulness when it came to capitalising on the fourth quarter. Is that something you would potentially lean on as well? Yeah,
it'd be great. Let me point out Kobe and MJ to us, and that'd be fantastic, and I can rely on those guys to help lead the group with that.
I feel fine. My body and my ankle's been feeling good the last 3.5 weeks or so. So just been ramping up in that time. So it's really good to be back out there finally.
And about the form as well. Forde mentioned kind of scoring is the thing he wants to see from you most. Is that what you think as well?
Yeah, I mean that's always one of the primary things, especially on this team where that's asked of me. But also just being able to defend the best player or one of the best players on the other team and slow them down and rebound and make plays if needed as well. But yeah, the scoring is definitely key, especially for being successful here and then going back home to the States and doing what I want to do there, and so on and so forth. So this is a really good building block for me.
The losses in kind of the last quarters have been building up. What's kind of the mentality of the team when you get to the start of that last quarter and you think what's up and you just can't do it?
I think sometimes we get so worried about if we're up, making sure we stay ahead instead of just playing, and if we're down, I think we're worried about being down, instead of, again, just going out there and just playing. But I think fatigue is set in a little bit sometimes during those quarters, and then execution, lacks in those moments. So it's just some little things that we have to clean up. It obviously sucks that it's been this long of a slide, but we work daily. The guys work their behinds off every single day to correct their own things and for the team, and so we're just trying to continue to build off that and get better.
Are you confident with the squad that you guys have and the coaching staff to be able to get you and win games? Obviously, it's been 11 losses on the trial.
Yeah, of course, because we have a really good team, and the staff is amazing. They do a really good job game in and game out and week in and week out of preparing us for whoever we're playing and how they're going to guard us and how we're going to guard them. So then it's just on us at the end of the day to execute. And we will. Halfway through the season, 3-11 is obviously tough. It's not bright, but it's got to switch at some point, and it will.
And obviously playing Perth on the weekend, they've been it would be a tough ask to play them again earlier in the year, but didn't get the win on that occasion. I guess how do you go about focusing and what's the game planning heading into that game?
We haven't went over them much yet. Obviously, it's just beginning of the week, but obviously Bryce Cotton's been having an amazing run the last several games, and they have a good team. They have a lot of really good weapons on that team. You know, with Cotton, and I don't know if Doolittle's going to play or not. Pepper, Henshaw, Windler, and so on and so forth. So it's going to take a full team effort to pull out the win, but we definitely can do it.
Just on Cotton, Forde said that Antonio will likely get the job on him. How confident are you in him to lock him up?
Jonah is a great defender. He does so many little things on both ends of the floor. Offensively, he really spaces the floor extremely well, but defensively, like, he runs around. If we need him to be out there for 40 minutes and just chase Cotton around and deny him the ball, he literally will do that and do it to the best of his ability. And we have the utmost faith and confidence in him. And obviously, Forde, if that's his matchup, then Forde does too. So we're riding with him.
If for some reason it may not go his way during Antonio for the first quarter and a bit, will you get the matchup after that?
Yeah, usually I will. Or if Rob is feeling good, if Rob wants to take him, Rob will take him, and we can switch and do whatever. So again, like, obviously that'll be whoever's matchup, Jonah or whoever. But then as a team, we have to obviously play everybody else, but also be able to help that guy out. We don't want to leave anyone out on the island.
You sort of mentioned a little bit about it being a mental game, the fact that if you're up, you're trying to extend that lead. But what do you think it comes down to, and what are you guys doing to, I guess, achieve that and break that and make sure you can win?
It's a lot, because again, like, we're not getting blown out every game. It's literally a handful of points, and it's very, very little things on whether it's defensively, whether we're not getting rebounds, or offensively, whether we're not getting through our sets and getting good shots, or the teams are pressuring us and we're not getting, again, through the pressure and getting to what we need to. So again, it's a day-by-day thing that we're working on consistently. So like I said earlier, we're going to get it. The flip just has to switch a lot sooner than later.
Has it been difficult, though, being on so many losses and struggling not to be able to get and reach that final goal?
Obviously, because we're all competitors at the end of the day, and we all have a lot of pride, and we all have a lot of basketball in front of us individually. But we know this can affect that one way or another. So the thing about it, like, this group has been really good and extremely resilient. Usually teams like this, where if you're losing a lot of games, guys kind of separate and they're not maybe hanging out or talking to each other. But the good thing about it is the camaraderie's been amazing. Everybody still is embracing each other and laughing and giggling every day. So obviously, that's a big part of it. So again, it's just now comes down to continue to get better on the court and execute what we need to.
What will it mean to you guys to finally get that win?
Thank you. Appreciate that.
No worries. Thank you.
Sorry. Sorry. I thought you said I hope you guys get that.
What will it mean to finally get that win?
It'll mean a lot. Obviously, again, we're halfway through the season, so that'll be a big momentum boost for us, one way or another. So we just have to kind of take it one game at a time and not get too far ahead of ourselves and look at the standings or where we are. We just have to worry about ourselves internally. So.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
I
Thank you. I appreciate that.